Okay, Tom here from FlipAnythingUSA, taking a drive, driving by my properties, driving by some that I tried and missed and failed to get, and others that I'm still working on. So I want to talk to you about nothing down. People talk about nothing down deals, and listen, they do exist, but when I say nothing down, the idea that somebody's going to just say, here, take my property, nothing down. I mean, maybe grandpa would do that for you, but in general, that's not going to happen. But you can create circumstances and tie up properties that are valuable, that are essentially going to be nothing down to you. Number one, when you know values, you got to know values of property. And that's what I do. I study an area and I know what things are worth. And then that way, at the drop of a hat, when somebody gives me a price, I don't have to go research. I already know it's a good deal. Boom, I'll take it. So that, I'll tell you, I lost a property a long time ago. And I'll never forget the lady calling me back. It's one that she said, you can have it for $250,000. And I hesitated and I waited a week. And then I realized, this thing's worth $500,000. And so I called her back and I said, hey, okay, I'm ready. I want to buy it. And she said, he who hesitates gets left at the starting gate. I can still hear her voice, and it's been 20 years. But hard lesson. She said, since I talked to you, I have another realtor called me, and he told me if he couldn't sell that property for $420,000, that he would buy it himself. And I don't know what happened, but she was right. It was a damn good deal. And I screwed up because I made the call to find out about it. Do you want to sell it, without really knowing what things were worth? So, stuff happens. I would be upset if that was the only deal I ever seen and missed it, but I've made many, many great deals. So that makes up for it. And I've even had worse ones that I've missed than that. So, number one, you got to know what you're looking at, know values. Okay, back to nothing down. Nothing down, I've taken properties that I immediately knew were a good deal and said, I'll take it. And I write it up, and I write a check for $500 for escrow, the deposit, if you will. And then I've got 60 days to close, or 90 days to close, or whatever, the most time to close possible, especially in those days because I didn't have any money of my own. So I knew property though, I knew the value, so I tie it up and have it under contract, we say, and then I would go find the money. Finding the money is easy, just so you know. You may not have money, and maybe nobody immediately around you has money, but that's okay. As long as you know value, you go tie up an asset, and you can tie up an asset with $500 in a contract with your name on it. And a lot of times it's easier to just say, when you're going into contract, that you're paying cash, because you are paying. It's going to be cash to them, because you're going to get the money from somewhere else. So, barring that they don't ask that you prove you have the cash in the bank, you'll be fine. Just tie it up, $500 down, or, whatever you got, it could be $10,000, whatever you have available to you that you can get the deal done. So you get it in contract, because as long as you know the value, I'll give you a perfect example. This is one of my first nothing down deals. I found a property that actually the people had gone out of business, and I knew that they were heading toward bankruptcy because there was creditors looking for them. Well, I did my investigative work looking for them. Well, I found out where they were living. They were actually living way the heck out of town. And so I go out there and I said, hey, what's the deal on this? They go, we're just going to let it go back to the bank. And so I wrote up a deal with them that said they would sell it. They were selling it to me now. And so I had a contract to buy it from them. So they were about to go to bankruptcy and have it taken away anyways, and not foreclosure. This is a pre-foreclosure. We made the deal. I can't remember exactly. I made a lot of money. I don't remember exactly how much. Well, no, I know how much I made. I just don't remember exactly what the terms were. Let's just say I was going to buy it for $110,000 or $120,000. I really don't quite remember now. But it was worth, a good $70,000, $80,000, maybe $100,000 more than that. So what I did though is I got the contract, I tied up the asset, then I went and looked for somebody that had money. Well, look, everybody knows of successful people in their town, right? Well, I went to an old employer of mine, really great guy, John Brooks. Man, great guy. He's passed away since, but man, what a great mentor, what a great role model he was. I can tell you, when that man died, I wasn't at his funeral because I heard about it too late, but I heard there was 300 men at his funeral and there wasn't a dry eye in the place. That's exactly what I was told, and I believe it because he was very helpful to he's a great mentor to so many people. So anyways, back to the story. So John says to me, I said, John, I got this great deal, it's worth, maybe $70,000, $80,000 more than I'm paying for it. And he says, he goes, Tom, that is a good deal. And he owned a lot of property. He knew. He goes, that is a great deal. He goes, but I don't want a partner. And I go, oh, okay, so what do we do? He goes, how about I give you $20,000 and you go away and I'll buy the property all by myself. And I said, that sounds great. So that's what we did. We made a deal, and basically I assigned my position to him. And that's another way that folks that don't have money can make a lot of money, is through assignments. And so what I did is I changed the paperwork to say Tom and or assignee. That would allow somebody else to take my position, and so that's what we did. John assumed my position in the contract. He gave me $20,000, and done deal. That was it. So that to me is a nothing down deal, or a flip, if you will, without ever having to own the property, because that's the best and cleanest when you can do that. And now there's other deals. See, let me tell you, the first house I lived in was like the 5th house that I bought. I didn't live in the first 5 homes. In fact, my first property I ever bought was a industrial building. But I bought probably 5 houses after that before I finally bought a home for myself. And those first 5, same thing. I found a great deal, tied it up, and then went looking for the money. And then, somebody else's money closed it. We sold it. We split the money. And then, the next time, just from that first deal, we split the deal. I had enough cash that I could buy the next one without anybody's help. And so I've done that with several houses. I tie up a house, and let's just say I bought it for $50,000 or whatever it was, and it was worth, say, $80,000. In fact, I had my first partner on a house. He's the one who came up with the money on the first deal. We split that cash. Then I found another one. He really wanted that one to keep for himself. He wanted it all for himself. And I said, okay, just give me $6,000. And he gave me $6,000, and he bought it and closed it without me. And I might have done that 2 or 3 times with him, but in the end, I had enough cash now by the time I did those 4 or 5 deals that I bought my first home for myself. And I paid, I think, $145,000 for it. Huge place. Felt like I was Hugh Hefner in the Playboy Mansion. It was beautiful. It was like a big, giant Brady Bunch home. Enormous yard. It had, I think, about 40 or 50 cypress trees around it. Huge cul-de-sac lot. Giant kidney-shaped pool. Had a sport court, basketball hoop. Had a big old jacuzzi downstairs, and then upstairs where my bedroom was, big old master bedroom up there in its own giant living room. I rented out the bottom wing, I called it, of the house to a buddy of mine, and so he lived in that wing, I lived in the upstairs, and we'd bump into each other in the kitchen once in a while. Back to the nothing down deals. That's how you can do it. You can do it a number of ways. One is tie up an asset, flip it to somebody else. There's owner finance situations where an owner will carry the note. I've done a lot of that myself. I bought, I don't know, maybe 100 different lots, and I've resold them and carried the note, and the people I bought them from carried the note as well. So, in fact, I'm about to drive by a house right now. This was a house that I tied up and got a great deal on, and then I just flipped it for $10,000. I assigned somebody into that purchase, and I made $10,000. Well, then they went to try to rezone it into commercial because it was on a pretty busy thoroughfare. And then he told me later on, he goes, hey, we're going to rezone that into commercial, and I think we got it sold, and we're going to make a pile of money. Well, my heart dropped, because I thought, did I just leave a ton of money on the table? I hope not, because I wouldn't feel like a sharp investor if I left too much money on the table. He ran up against a neighborhood association, and they weren't going to let him zone it commercial. At first, my heart sunk, because I thought, oh my gosh, you're gonna make $100 grand? I messed up. So I'd drive by that thing and I'd be so mad at myself every day. Oh, why'd I let that go? Why'd I let that go? God, I was so angry. And I was right by where I would drive to go have coffee every day. And so I was just like, why? And so then one day he pulls up to my house to ask me about one of my other properties for sale. And I said, yeah. I said, well, hey, whatever happened with your deal on that other one that I sold you? He goes, we couldn't do the commercial zoning. We're not even going to buy it now. We're just going to lose the $10,000 that we gave you. And I go, really? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, look, you don't have to lose any money. I said, I'll buy it back from you. So what happened was I gave him $5 grand and he assigned it back to me. So I still made $5 grand on that deal without ever owning it. Then I did buy it. I still own it. I think I paid $105,000. It's probably worth $420 right now. It's one I'll probably sell pretty soon, to be honest. Nothing down deals do exist, but remember, when I say nothing down, I mean not a fantasy deal. It's practical. It's find a great asset that's valuable, you tie it up, and then you find somebody with the money, and then you either buy it with them or you let them buy it without you, and you just take basically a finder's fee, or an assignment fee is what I would more accurately call it. And that's how you can make money. You can do it. So don't think for a second you can't do it. You can do it. Because really, what's beautiful about real estate is it's something you can tie up. You can tie up a very large piece of real estate with very little money, $5,000, $10,000, $500. You can tie up this, something worth $100,000 to $2 or $3 million with as little as $10,000, or as little as maybe $100 in some cases. Find the deal. Finding the money's easy. Find the deal, then find the money. But you have to know what values are before you initiate that purchase. Once you do, you'll be home free on that deal. You'll make a lot of money, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hey, Tom here again. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe to my videos and hit the notifications if you want to hear about things when they come up. But number one, get the app. It's a free app, folks. It's in Android and iOS. Go down and try it out. It costs you nothing. Thanks for watching.